Hello and welcome everyone, this is Dmitry. We are having another network programmability stream, and today I don't really have a very specific topic in mind. We will be just doing some open source work. We will chill and I will just take it slowly. We'll do what I can to help open source. But yeah, like there is no specific topic for today. Like we'll not be checking out, like I don't know, GNMI or something. Just I will select some of the open source issues and I will work on them, or maybe I have some ideas there and work on them. I don't really know at this point. I have some ideas, but like at this point I don't know. We'll see. So it's end of March. It's March 22nd, and oh, by the way, before we start going down that route, I will be covering some of the topics I would like to discuss with you right now. And if you are watching this as the recording, you don't care about some of these ramblings, just feel free to use timecode below to jump to any section of the video you want. Right, let's get started. So obviously the topic that is all over the news and affects pretty much every human being on the planet is coronavirus, right? And we have pandemic right now and in the world, and as of today it doesn't look very good, especially in Europe and in US. And it's really concerning, and it has already changed lives of a lot of people, and probably it's going to change our lives even more. um, and there is this global move to like working from home if possible. It's a good thing that I'm working for Cisco, and we have very well established working from home policy, and like it's a usual thing for majority of roles, so it was a very easy move, um, more or less. So right now we have mandatory work from home policy, unless you have very specific reason you need to go to office. And um, I would like to thank my leadership at Cisco, who are really supportive in this case, and they have processes in place. And in this particular situation, we were more or less prepared for working from home. So uh, yeah, I just I just appreciate the leadership that I have at Cisco on that front. So I would like to point out on the stream. Um, there are just couple of thoughts that I would like to cover regarding the virus. Like we'll obviously not go over the stats or whatever. It's like you can check it out in the news or on your own. But um, I will discuss how it affected me and still affects me, and some thoughts also. Let's just let me talk. I don't know why I'm trying to describe what I'm going to talk about right now. So how it affected me. So I have been working from home for 2.5 years so far. So nothing has changed that much. However, I feel demotivated, and I feel stressed, and I feel I don't know, it's just taking a great toll on my mental health. Even though like technically nothing has changed for me, like my whole team is distributed across the world, but it kind of stresses me out that things like this, like can affect your life so significantly, and how we as humanity are quite helpless uh, in front of the nature, right? Like I don't know, 1 month ago everyone was chill, um, more or less, depending on where you are in the world, right? But majority of people were like didn't take it seriously, and still some don't. And now like it's panic, it's fear, and a lot of the things. And yeah, like I personally don't. I can't say I feel very well. I don't think I feel very motivated to do some of these things. Like I I tried. I'm doing my best not to go out. So like I go out to shop like once per 10 days, one per 14 days. Like and the rest of the time I'm sitting here at my flat. It is what it is, but it's difficult. And another thing that I want to talk about here is that I saw some of the people in the community were encouraging others to use this time to like study hard, and like you could use like some of this extra time that you may get from like transiting to your place of work and stuff like that to learn something, right? um I think it's okay if you want to do that, but I also think it's okay if you don't want to do that. I think it's okay to do nothing. Okay, so if you feel like you don't want to do anything, in then don't do all this extra stuff. Like it's really hard time for everyone right now. So take care of yourself. Take care of your mental health as well. Um, a lot of us are pretty much in isolation, right? Um, yes, you have this. You can still talk to each other virtually, but it's not really the same, right? So, and I usually attend around like 3 to 5 conferences per year, and obviously all that was cancelled. And I was always looking forward to them because even though I'm like working from home, those are my chances to connect with people, connect with community across the world. And well, this year obviously it's not possible, so um, it's kind of bummer, right? But yeah, so my point here is that if you feel it's taking toll on you, they don't put too much on yourself. Okay, like you don't have to use some of this extra time to study or whatever. Like for example, I'm a big gamer. I like to play games, and I think I play more games right now than I was playing before. And it's okay. Like I don't mind. Also because of this situation and some of the things, I had to cancel last week's stream. Pretty much because of the same reasons. Like I didn't feel like it, to be honest. So yeah, those are. And last thing that I'm very curious how it will, what is going to be aftermath after all of this situation. um in one way or another, humanity as a whole will survive, and I'm curious how it will change economy, how it will, and especially how it will change jobs. um are we going to do more of the things online? Are there going to be more completely remote positions, stuff like this? I'm very curious to see that aftermath, but right now we don't know when that happens. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Let me see. Let me see some of the comments in the chat. Part network deployment and part operations, and the latter part is a nightmare to work from home. Yeah, I can understand. I used to work for Cisco and use their flexible work from home policies. Yeah, I I really appreciate those things that we have at Cisco. When we faced this grave situation, I think we started thinking our priorities, and maybe at some level we realized there are other things like health, mental peace, well-being, family, more important than projects, jobs, etc. Yeah, I agree with you completely. Um, yeah, I think you hit nail on the head here. I think it's very much true. I work in healthcare as a network engineer. Those of us that can work from home are now working from home full time instead of normal 1 2 days a week. We're rapidly deploying solutions to support the efforts while our leadership has been doing their best to make sure that if we don't need to be on site, we aren't. My kids are out of school indefinitely. My wife has been managing them while I work. But you consider this their summer vacation without the ability to travel. Javin runs. I'm glad to hear that your leadership also understands this, and kudos to you for keeping those networks uh, related to healthcare industry up and running. Thanks for your contribution. I hope you all. I hope it will. I don't even know how to put it in words. You know what? I just hope that we all will be alright. I hope you guys are staying safe, and for the love of God, if you don't have to go out, just don't. Just stay home. Okay. All right. Enough about this thing. It's it's pretty depressing, but also think we need to move forward and hope for the best. So yeah, let's talk about some of the better news here. So as you see, I don't have a lot of topics today for like additional discussion, but something that got my attention was this. So Fluent Python is probably the most popular Python book out there. It's not for beginners, but um, I do think it's the best Python book out there. And however, this book was written, I think, in like 7 years ago, maybe 5. I think around 7ish. And the author of this book, if only I could remember his name, Luis something, Luciano, Luis, Luis and Luciana is obviously the same thing. So he's writing the second edition of this book, and there was an announcement, and he has a lot of tweets in Spanish. Let me try finding this. Too many tweets. I cannot find what I'm looking for. Let me try finding this from my profile, because I think I retweeted that. Yeah, here. Fluent Python second edition early release. So yeah, you can check out the early release of this book. Probably I will not be reading the early release. I will be waiting for final release. Or maybe not. It's going to be released next year. I don't know. But this is like, I really want to read this. If only it would came earlier. But yeah, you can if you want, you can read the early edition of this. Today was amazing day at 5 p.m. Today 1 billion Indians came out and cheered for people in healthcare heroes. Now we can back to the topic of the stream. Yeah, I think it's very important to appreciate all of the effort by those folks who are true heroes of this age. Right, that's all from like some extra topics that I would like to touch upon. Oh, maybe not. I take that back. So 2 weeks ago, I was 2 weeks ago, I was working on network automation controller, and we are going to keep working on it on future streams. I don't want to make every stream about this project. I want to mix, and it took me a really long time to publish recording and publish code, but finally I did it. So if you're curious about that, this is a repo. I now call it NetWarden. I couldn't come up with better name, so it's going to be NetWarden. So yeah, if you want to check out what we have done so far, we didn't do much, but I think I think we have a decent progress there. And also, like, I published a screenshot somewhere on my page. Where was it? Here. So this is what we had. Like, we had a front end and back end, and this front end was fetching details about some of the devices from the back end. Right now we are not pulling this from Netbox, but we will be. So majority of this information will come from Netbox, except of the software version, which is going to be fetched via REST console. Probably this is what we are going to do next time. We will replace static data to data from the Netbox. But yeah, the code is available if you're curious about that. tmfigo/netwarden on GitHub. NetWarden is a great name. Thank you. But also a reminder though, because I have seen this come up multiple times. For example, there is like a similar thing that is ENMS is doing. It's kind of like, it's pretty much a network controller as well, but also like monitoring thing. It's also written in Python. Unlike that, this is not something that I am going to maintain, if that makes sense. So I'm not going to release this and maintain this. This has two purposes: to understand what is possible, what is not, using like the state-of-the-art technologies, okay? And also give you guys, if you want to build something custom from scratch, show you some, like, give you some starting points, some skeletons, some ideas as well, right? You can take any of this code if you want and build what you need, but it's not going to be like, you could open an enhancement request and like, oh, can you add this here or can you add this here, if that makes sense. Like, this is not something like I'm giving as a product. This is like just a code sample more or less, and it's going to be this way pretty much. Well, I don't think it's going to change. Hello Dmitry, how are you doing? Thank you so much. And I'm sorry, I remember I had hard time pronouncing your nickname. You know what, let me try. You were saying that it was blue in French, wasn't it? So let me see. uh, French.
Bleu.
Okay, blue. So is it Bluet's kernel? Would it be correct? I'm doing alright. I'm just I feel a little bit demotivated about the virus and all of the situation, but it's okay. I'm happy to do some open source work. Perfect. Yeah, I'm happy I got this right. All right, folks. So here are the things that I'm thinking about working on. Oh, your GitHub academic discount coupon has expired. Yeah, I have to fix that. I remember around 3 years ago, I was enrolled in Georgia Tech for online master degree, and I was eligible for GitHub education. But yeah, now they tell me you have to pay or reapply. So yeah, we'll see. But now this is annoying. I want to close this. Okay, whatever. So here are the things that I have in mind. I'm thinking of opening some of the not opening, but checking some of the Nornir issues and fix them. There is one which I really need to fix. Let me find it. Yes, this one. This is an annoying bug, and I have it fixed in some of my fork, but this bug is annoying AF. Because if you do some kind of retry mechanism, it's not going to work out well for you. So I really need to fix this. I maybe will be looking on some of the other things that need to be fixed here. I don't know. By the way, folks, if you have been using Nornir, I don't know if you have seen it or not. We have been discussing this on Slack, and also there is GitHub issue for it. It's the next Nornir major release, which is going to be 3.0, and I don't know when it happens, but we will be separating plugins from the core. So, like right now Nornir is getting shipped with a bunch of plugins. We have like inventory plugins like Ansible, Netbox, whatever, and we also have tasks plugins. We'll be removing a lot of them from core. So it's going to be breaking change. It's going to be very painful to, well, I wouldn't call it very painful, but it's definitely going to be painful for the Nornir community to change on this. But this is something we have to do. The main reason why is that it really slows down the development. For example, we get issues like this, right? And this was the last GitHub issue, which was open. Netbox add support for tags or something. Or there is some kind of bug or unexpected behavior in some of these plugins. The problem is that Nornir core maintainers, we don't use many of these things. Like we don't use Netbox. A lot of us. We don't use Ansible plugin, inventory plugin, and like we have pretty much zero motivation to like, I don't know, do some enhancements there or bug fixes, just because we don't use it pretty much. So it's really like hard to maintain that. So we'll be moving plugins out of the core, and we will provide some kind of like plugin registration mechanism. So yeah, this is something to keep in mind if you are using Nornir today. You can keep using Nornir X, if you want, will not be introducing this breaking change in 2 point something. It's going to be in 3.0, but this is something to keep in mind. Alright, that was a little bit off topic. Now, so yeah, I'm thinking about fixing or working on some of these things. I told you about connections, so this one is probably the highest priority for me right now. I don't know what else, maybe. Another thing that I'm thinking about is to have some work on this project. First of all, test how it works, how Scraply works. And then I have some ideas that I want to add. Specifically, I'm looking on async IO. Like if we can have this support async IO, this is going to be great. But I'm not sure like how hard or easy it is. Yeah, probably we will mix and match. If you have some preference or maybe even other like 100% open source ideas, do let me know. We may take a look at this. I think I will get started with some of these issues. Actually, this issue can be closed. What are our pull requests? Don't merge. Network plugin, wait for connection, hold. This one, update Docker file. I think I may need to check this. Use Scraply like a week ago works well. Need the speed test within. Very nice. Looking forward to seeing how attacks will large stack of switches, changing timers on Miko. By the way, have you used in Scraply, which backend did you use? Did you use Paramiko or did you use SSH to Python? So you can use Paramiko as a backend or SSH to Python. If you have been using Paramiko, you could also try using this. I have seen a bunch of reports which are saying that if you use SSH to Python, then it's quite fast. It's much faster. And also let author know as well. Like this guy. I mean, this project is not very well known yet. And Carl has been doing an amazing work here. But he doesn't like. No one provides like feedback to him more or less on this. So like, if you have been using it for anything, and it has been working well, or you have some thoughts, just let him know. You can easily find him on Network to Code Slack as well. I can tell you that open source maintainers don't get praised very often. Like people usually come to you with issues and enhancement requests, and depending on how extensively you are using open source project you build, it may be tough. Like, yeah, like no one comes to you and, well, no, I would be lying if I said that. I wouldn't say no one, but very few people come to you and say, like, they like this project or something, or it has been working well, or whatever. I usually get this on at Cisco Live. Like, some folks come to me and say this, which is nice, but like outside of conferences, it happens very, very rarely. And people just come to you with problems and enhancement requests and people who can't install Python and some other things. Thank you, thank you. It's not that you know, I'm asking you folks to say good things about us or stuff like that. I was mainly referring to Carl, especially with this new project that he has. Like, it's barely known, and he doesn't get a lot of feedback. So it would be really nice if people who are using it could provide the feedback to him directly. All right. Folks, give me just 1 minute, and then I will be back. Just stay tuned. All right, we are back. Jesus Christ, this is annoying. I have to scroll not to see it. All right, I think we'll start with this. Okay, so let me think what I need to do, because I usually, if I need to work on Nornir, I use my laptop. I usually don't use this computer where I'm streaming from, so you'll have to set up like development environment more or less. Okay. Okay, so I need to do the font. I need to do git clone. Yeah. And I will be cloning my fork. So it's github.com, Timecode Nornir. And I go to Nornir folder. Okay. This next thing that I need to do, I need to add, so this is my fork. So if I say git remote -v, this is my fork. Now I have to say git remote add, let's say upstream, github.com, Nornir automation, Nornir, git remote -v. Now I have upstream. So now I can say git fetch upstream. Okay, git remote -v. And I think I need, do I need to rebase? I think I need to rebase on develop. Git rebase upstream develop git log migrate to GitHub Actions. Let me check if this is correct. Yeah. Okay. So now we have it synced. Okay. So what's next? Okay, so I'm thinking, what do I need to do? Let me probably first open the issue again. I will close this issue. And anymore migrated to GitHub Actions. I get distracted easily. Okay, I wanted this issue. Okay, so here is the example. Deliberately put incorrect credentials in the inventory. Here is the result. Yep. Let me probably make it slightly bigger. Okay, so I need to create a branch. So I say git checkout minus b. How do I want to name this? Naming things, the most difficult problem is in software engineering. Fix failed connection. Okay, this next piece that I want to do is that, well, first of all, what is my poetry version? Self. Poetry is Tiba. Poetry self update using latest version 1.0.5. Okay, we test this on Python 3.6, so I need to have Python 3.6, so Python versions. I have here installed 3.6.10, so I can say I can do pyenv local 3.6.10. Okay. So now I have to create a virtual environment and install dependencies there. I think I can just say poetry install. Actually, no. Let me do this. let's just do poetry install. I hope it will use Python 3.6. Okay, and while it's working, I can open this project here. Right. So what I usually do is that I create a folder. You can call it whatever. I will call it sandbox. One thing that is needed to be done: git add file to local ignore. Okay, we need to edit this file. .git here is not displayed. Awesome. I have to do it from CLI then. Okay. Interesting. Why setup is here? Oh no, it should be, yeah, it should be right. It's what poetry is doing. Right. So we have Nornir 2.4. So I need also to update pip, I think. So poetry run pip v. Yeah, I need to update pip. It's, by the way, Python 3.6. 3.6.10. Awesome. So I have to say poetry run pip install u pip and setup tools. Alright, cool. Okay, what's next? I mean, ideally I would want to run all of the tests, but I am lazy AF and I don't really want to. I mean, it's going to take a long time. We have a make file. Let me see what's here. I mean, ideally I would want to run this. At least this. What do we have in GitHub? Make by test. Yeah, I think I could run make by test. There are some failed tests. Oh no! Oh, I know why that is. Yeah, it's because we're not using Docker. Yeah, I have to run. Where is this? This one? Yeah, let me try doing docker compose up -d here. It's going to take a while. Well, meanwhile, I think I can create the script. Okay, now I need inventory. Okay. So I have to say here inventory 1 will not be providing defaults file. Yeah, I think it's fine. Now we have to create a script. So let's say I can call it test. Failed connection. We just do failed connection py. Okay, from Nornir in. Oh, I have to set up. I have to set this up. I have to set a VS Code for auto completion. So I will just copy paste this from another project that I have. No. Right. I could create this file manually, I think. Jesus Christ. Let's go. Okay, and now I have to fix this. Poetry run, pip freeze, grab flake. Do I even have? I don't have flake installed. God damn it. Timecode style. I don't have that. By llama. What is going on here? Poetry couldn't find pipe. Ah, yeah, about that. Okay, I have by flakes, but I don't. Do I have by lint? I don't have by lint. How is by flakes different than flake 8? I have to change some of the options here. I do have by llama. This like setting up the dev environment takes so much time. I have to check the arguments as well. Where is my settings file? I can actually not add anything. Okay, I think this should be fine. Pass to Pylama linter is invalid. Nornir backend. Oh yeah. Okay. Let's go. Okay, this should be fine. Yep. Okay, so from Nornir import init Nornir. We have to import logging. Logger is equal to logging, get logger. Yeah, I think this is it. I need to check. Well, here, yeah. I need to check that I don't disable logging, which I don't. So I can just go to the sandbox folder and run this, I think. So if I go to sandbox and I say poetry run python failed compile, and it just runs. Why does it run successfully? Oh yeah, I know why. Of course. Of course. Oh yeah, I have to import the task as well. So from Nornir, the plugins tasks networking, import netmicros and command. Let's go. Okay. Okay, so this should fail. And I need to see something like this. Yeah, so you can see that, well, you actually can see this, but it should be in the log file. Where is the log file? Hello? This is weird. Oh, maybe I just need to refresh. Yeah, I just need to refresh, of course. But of course. Okay, so you can see it here. Running task with rx blah 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 on one host task netmicos and command file is traceback. Unable to connect to port 22 on 1234. And then connection to device timeout, whatever. So this is yeah, we have here this exception. I don't think this should happen, or maybe it should. I don't remember. But then connection not established, unable to connect. Yeah, the biggest problem here is the following. So after this connection fails, I can even, yeah. Yeah. So the problem here is this part. When we are closing connections, so connections should be closed at the end of this block, yes. However, even though this connection failed to establish, we have it in connection dictionary. So we're still trying to close it, but it's not a valid connection to close. So then we fail on closing connection, which should not happen. So yeah, this definitely should be fixed. Let me see what I did in the report. Connection is stored even when not established successfully. Yeah. We shouldn't have tried closing it. Okay. Folks, I have been looking at this code base so long time ago that I barely remember anything. Where does this even go? I think it should be here. Maybe inventory. Yeah, I think it should be. No, yeah, it should be. It should be part of the inventory here. So yeah, so host has connections. Connections is our thing. Connections. Where are connections? Here. No. Hi Jules, how are you doing? Thank you for following. No, not here. From Nornir core connections, import connections. No, okay, over here. So connections, and we have here dictionary called available. That's a problem that I don't remember anything. Type connection plugin. Okay, so this dictionary is what we are seeing here. We see that there is a string netmico. Actually, no, that's not the case. That's not the case. Register. Let me see this again. So every host should have name. It has defaults and connections. And I think this is what I'm printing. So NR inventory host connections. Yep. So I'm looking in this dictionary. Oh yeah, I think I understand why. So we inherit these connections from the dictionary, but then there is another dictionary like as part of this class. So I can say, let me show you something, if I remember this correctly. So I think I should be able to say it like this. Yep. So this is dictionary, but it's a weird dictionary. And then this, because technically it's an object which behaves kind of like a dictionary, but then it has an extra class attribute called available with all of the registered plugins. By the way, this is the part where we will be changing some of the internal APIs for plugins. Yeah, so Nornir plugins connections netmico object. Okay, I think I have to find open connection thing. Let me think. We are trying to open connection to host, and it doesn't work. We call somewhere open connection, I think. Yeah, we are saying first you'll try to retrieve connection. So let's say I'm trying to retrieve connection at Miko, but then if I don't have this connection, we will open a new connection. Self-open connection. If connection in self-connection connection is already open, okay, the problem is over here. So whenever we go to this piece, we are we are creating this object self connection, self connection, get plugin connection. How to fix this correctly? I don't even know. But I think I can just establish connection, I guess. Self connection, get plugin. Okay, so once we go here, we go to plugins, tasks, no, plugins, connections, Netmico, here, and we create this object. Yeah, this is an issue. I create this object. This object is valid, but it can refer. We open connection here. This connection can fail to open. Self connection, get plugin connection, and then we create this object. Get plugin. Okay, let me first connection plugin. We will do like step by step. Then I create a new plugin. Why it's happening and how can I fix this easily? Okay, so when I open a connection, I store the actual connection object like Netmico handler here, and I store state here. And by default, we have this as an unestablished connection. Okay, so dummy fix would be to go through every connection object and check if this is an unestablished connection. I'm also curious, where do we define this unestablished connection? An established connection is just an object with a close method. I'm thinking we could create here a proper sentinel object. I'm thinking if I should easy fix this or properly fix this. Proper because you know it will bug you later. Technically that's true. However, like if this was the project that I'm working on every day, then yes. But those rules do not really apply to open source, to be honest. Like this code was there for a really long time. How much time for easy fix, how much time for proper fix? For easy fix it would probably take around 10 minutes right now to fix this and plus test. For hard fix, it would require redesigning some of this code. What's the time difference? Well, I don't know where you are located, Javin runs. I am right now in Europe and I have 8 p.m. There is another piece that what I think is a good fix, it's not necessarily something, everyone will agree. Like, it's always tricky, guys, in open source. It's, there is always this fine line where, like, you change things and when you don't. Like, sometimes you just have to let go and just fix the goddamn issue and that's all. Like, don't touch anything else, more or less. And sometimes you can do whatever. What happened to switching to Go? Ha! Packet ferret? Why are you being mean to me? So here is the thing with Go. I still believe that Go is the best language to write a network automation controller. I still do. Especially if you have more than one person and you feel like this project will grow. However, I still feel that specifically in network automation we have a bunch of gaps when we are talking about Go. Like, you have to, with Go you have to work on these things on quite, I wouldn't call it low level, but you will need to do a lot of things manually, some things that I don't want to do. Easy example, I was checking netconf and there is a package for it. It's completely not maintained for I think 2 years or something in Go. Like, can I still work with netconf in Go? Sure I can, even if that package doesn't work, which I think it does, but I could still work with my payloads more or less directly in Go, like using their SSH library, which is quite good. But I don't want to spend my time and cycles on learning Go and then enriching their ecosystem. Like, I would go insane. I don't have, no, I have neither time nor desire to do that. So that's why I still want to learn it. But it's not my biggest priority. Now, second piece of this is that I have seen performance or of Python asynchronous applications, and it was very nice. It was still like slower than Go, and Python is still not statically typed language, stuff like that, but it was quite performant. So as of today, I'm still sticking to Python, mainly because Python ecosystem around network automation is still much richer than Go, but this is just my opinion. Netconf package in Go is problematic, which is a problem for me working on Juniper devices, I understand. See? Yeah, like, but yeah, bottom line is that I feel like Go is the right choice for like more complex stuff, for stuff that many people will need to maintain and work on, something that you think will like grow over time to like huge project, but the fact that there is no proper ecosystem on that, like, yeah, just throws me off, I guess. So folks, yeah, I still don't know how probably, you know what, I should start with an easy fix and then see how much I hate it, and then like if my hatred is above a threshold, then I can make a, but then if I start doing that, someone will kill me. So let me tell you something, and this could be like a good tip for you if you are a Python developer, and I discovered this actually recently. Let me show it. Yeah, here. So this is a class. Don't look at its abstract class right now, it doesn't matter. This class, right? And then in init method, it creates some values which are placeholders. Okay? This is a problem. This is a maybe, you know what, since I know that open source, just working on open source could be not very interesting for all of you, but maybe like some of these extra things will be helpful for you if you are developing in Python. Let me show this to you. This will not be related to Nornir. You may have this is example close to what we have. This could be a satire or something like this, doesn't matter that much. Let me think if I can make this even better. And let's say the name of the book. Fix extract from IP. No, not right now. I'm stretching, but so let's say you provide the line. You provide the line which says author, like author, and then book name like this. Yes, and let's say this is. I'm thinking of some book. So let's say the book is for Just Man, and the author is Edgar Wallace. Let me double check that I got this correctly. I don't want to look stupid. The fourth Just Man, yep. Edgar Wallace, yep. Cool. So, and then imagine from some kind of something you get this line, yes? This book probably should also have an author. You know what? We should have an author. Let's also have an author. And then I can have it like this. And then let me create a function called so we need to create probably like actually for this example I don't need a regular expression. I can just split based on this. So we have extract author book name. Hi Jules. And then line str. I see question in the chat. Let me finish with this example and I will answer it. Extract author book name line str, and then so this should return tuple of str. So from typing import tuple. Okay, so I think it's partition. Yeah, partition separator split the string at the first occurrence, or separate turns tuple containing the part before separator, separator, and part after separator. Yep. So this is going to be like this. So author, whatever, and then book. It's going to be line. Partition, and then like this. Yep, and then we'll probably like say author is equal to author strip, and then book is equal to, actually let's say book name, and book name is equal to book name strip as well, and this will be return author book name. Yep. And then theme solarize dark and font consoles. This is not consoles, by the way, so I don't remember the theme, but let me see. Yes, this is solarized dark, but the font that I have is called Huck, and I really like it. Oh no, it's actually console. No, I'm using Huck. Modified in user. Yep, it's Huck. Right. Okay, going back to this example. So if I say author book name is equal to we use this function online, and then I say self author is equal to author, and self book name is equal to book name. Let's do it like this: update from line, and then proper book will be class method. Oh, and of course I need author here as well. Yep. So here I will say from line, and then I provide CLS and line str, and this will be the same thing, and then result is equal, well, I can say book is equal to extract, actually no, what I'm doing. So this should be class name is equal to book name, and then author is equal to author. Yep. And then we return book. So compare these two examples, not a great book and proper book. And the way you use it, let me just run this. So we will have line called this. And I say that not a great book is not a great book. Yeah, like this, and then I say not a great book. Update from line. And proper book will be proper book from line. Okay. Even though like this has nothing to do with Nornir, this is like almost the same thing we have. I just thought it would be a great idea to like stop and discard some of this Python stuff with you. So okay, so what do I need to run this? So let me install bpython here. Wait, do we use IPython? We may be using IPython. Yeah, we use Jupyter. So I can say poetry run IPython. I will, you know what, I will just remove this, so it will be like a little bit easier. Okay. So was not a great book name. Ouch. Actually very interesting. Here I did a mistake. Here it's name and here it's the book name, and of course like this is incorrect, but you could see that like this mistake was not caught by Python because Python is dynamic. So let me try this again. This was not intentional, by the way. Not a great book. Name is for just man and author is Edgar Wallace. And then I have proper book and it has the same thing. So let me explain to you the difference and why you should prefer something like this instead of something like this. And if you look on our inventory, was it inventory? No, it was here. If you look here on connection plugin, we have exactly the same thing. We initialize the object with some kind of placeholders, and then during the, if I open, let's say, netmiko stuff here, if I open here netmiko, then we populate this self.connection there. So we populate this self.connection. This self.connection we populate here, right? So we populate it later. So why you should prefer this over this? Well, there are two big reasons. First of all, if there is some kind of error here, right? So then between these two lines, your not a great book is in inconsistent state, right? If there is some kind of error here, actually, let's add this error here. So we have error on line 36, but if I look on this not a great book, it's a valid object and it has name, which is none. Oh, what am I doing? I have to fix this. So we have not a great book, it has a name and it has an author, but it's not what you expect. This is the first thing. Second thing, your object is mutable, more or less. I mean, all of Python objects are pretty much mutable, unless you do some interesting shenanigans. But like, both of these, where is this example? Did I close this example? Oh no, it's here. I mean, both of these classes are mutable, but here you are promoting this Python mutability, if you will. So your object can be between these calls in inconsistent state. This is even bigger problem in something like Nornir, where this this piece will run in a thread, and we actually suppress errors from threads unless you like specify some things, because like, you know, tasks may fail and stuff like that. So by default we actually suppress if there is some kind of exception from task. So this results in this book being in inconsistent state, and you can see this in here, right? This this object is there even though we did not establish a connection because there was an exception. So yeah, so this is the first reason why you like promoting mutability, and honestly mutability is a source of a lot of evil in pretty much every programming language. Second reason why is testing. Whenever you have mutable objects and whenever you have some of your methods or something, you'll have to set up objects in very interesting ways. So like for testing purposes, you will have to say my test book is equal not a grade book, and then you set something like this, test book or something. And this is obviously like easy example, right? Where compared to this proper book example, you would just do it at object creation time. You would just say proper book name is equal to test book. Again, you have here this like gap where you know, like, first of all, you have to make sure that you set up every single argument correctly here, right? Because I may forget about author, and then author will be none by default. Compared here, if this is a required argument and author here is the required argument, this will not work, right? So if I say this will say I am missing one argument. So I can fixally deal with this like this. Okay. So this is like an example of what's going on here, more or less. We have here a mutable connection plugin. It has mutable attributes which are set to something by default, and then we deal with them later. Then so here we initialize it with this, and then in the Timecode plugin we set self.connection to something. You see, it's like even in completely different file. I mean, it's obviously should be in different file, but you could see like how the moment from where we created this and the moment where we set this to what we expect really took a long time here, right? Sorry, not a long time, but there is so much code in between this. The more proper way, and I actually, now that I'm looking at this, I don't think it's possible to change. I mean, it's always possible to change it, but it's not something that we can do, because the proper fix for this would be the same thing. It would be to have this open function, return connection and state. So instead of returning none, so in this netmiko, for example, so instead of returning none, you would return connection object and a state object. This is what you would do. Or maybe just connection, because I don't think we use state anywhere. So you would return both of these. And then at initializing time, you would say self connection is equal to connection, self state is equal to state. But we can't do this unfortunately. This is why, I mean, we cannot do this because this will break our public API for open. Because the ideal fix is to change this open to return this object, not to set this object. So let me kind of like do it here. So you do return connection or end state or just connection. So you would return this thing. And then here you would say self connection is equal to connection. Because we cannot do this, I will probably need to do easy fix. But that fix to me looks like a band-aid, to be honest. So let me think like what's the best way to do here. So okay, if you set connection here, like I have to assume that I cannot touch this file. So this should be like this. Because this should be like this, we do need some sentinel object here. Let me open one article. Tray on sentinel objects. This is by the way, a very good article on. I think I'm not sure why this disconnect is equal to close. It's here. You know what, folks? Before I move forward, I actually think it's important to rerun tests. Oh, we are actually running here so many tests. Make PyTest. Oh, it's in different folder. and I want to read and check another thing. Thank you for following, Mike. Oh, we actually have this, yeah. Class pass. I think I could leave it. It's not a big deal. So this should, because we cannot change this should stay. Yeah, about that, I don't think this is the best way. I could say okay. The reason why I will be doing this is because this unestablished connection is pretty much the same for all of the plugins. And this creates an instance of this class. This is not what I want. So I think this would be a first fix. Self connection, any is unestablished connection. Okay. So if and all tests passed, okay. If there is some kind of error during this open function, yes? So if there is an exception, like it could be here, then self connection will be equal to this unestablished connection. So then, ouch. Close connection is the device. Okay, this self-clone, yeah. And I also cannot change these. Disconnect. Okay, I have to find in the inventory close connection. So for dev close connections, existing connections, decouple deleting dictionary elements, for connection in existing connection, self close connection. Okay, so we will go through every key in the connections, and then we will close this connection based by name. And we say here, if for some reason this is not in self connections, then we raise an exception. Yeah, so pop connection. Ouch. Yeah, it's actually weird. So there are two types of problems that can occur when opening connection. It could be like permanent problem, like incorrect credentials, and it could be temporary problem. So the thing that I have to think about right now is if I have like multiple tasks, right, and I use the same connection, do I want to try reopening it or not? And my gut feeling says that I should not, and I should keep that failed connection, if you will, but I could... Damn. Yeah, I thought it's going to be easy fix. Now I don't think it's going to be easy fix. It's going to be horrible fix. Yeah, I have to think about this scenario. So whenever we are doing this run, let me go send command. We will do a lookup. So if you go to netmiko, no, actually no. Let's go to netmiko send command. So in this netmiko send command, we have this interesting function called task host do nicer. Hello, how are you doing? In this netmiko send command, I have this function task host get connection netmiko blah blah blah. This get connection opens a connection and if we have a problematic connection, god damn it. Yeah, I think this is how it's going to be. No, I think I should keep it on established connection. Or maybe not. God damn it. Okay, I will keep that failed connection, but I'm not sure yet how to use it. Okay, unestablished connection, failed connection. By default we say unestablished connection, then it will go through netmiko send command task host get connection. Get connection goes here. get connection. This is netmiko, and then we say if this connection is not there, we will open it. Then open connection. If connection, instead of connection, so we say Jesus Christ. I feel stupid, guys. I mean, it feels like super easy problem to fix. And it's also a very annoying problem. The reason why it's annoying, by the way, is when you're opening connection. So let me show why this bug is annoying AF. So if you have a retry function, which I have, right? Let's say I do utils retry, and you want to open connection, you do like this. You are retrying this open connection function. This will not work. The reason why this will not work is, for example, we are, and let's say, yeah, we like go to create connection is unestablished as default value. Create connection with unestablished as default value. Try opening, let's say netmiko, it doesn't matter which one connection. Yes, set connection attribute to netmiko connection object. This will not work if exception happened, right? So if you open netmiko connection and your other credentials are wrong, or there was some kind of timeout, then this connection object will still be there, but it's going to have this as a value, not this netmiko connection object, which is a problem. And then if you retry, this will fail because this. Okay, so you're trying to creating a connection, and we are creating this as with a default value. We'll open the connection, we'll try opening the real connection. We will, if we open a connection, we'll set connection attribute. Where is this? We'll set connection attribute to an actual netmiko object or napalm or whatever. But if that fails and you want to, let's say, retry will fail, but it will fail because we already have connection object, which is stupid. So yeah, this fix will require fix in multiple places. So if connection in self connections okay, so we have to say this. if connection in self connections and self we'll do it even like this. If self connections get connection okay, and then I say here if existing connection is not known and existing connection is not unestablished connection. So we are saying the following: if there is no connection object or this existing and this existing connection is not unestablished connection, then we will fail here. Alternatively, we will try again. We will try opening this connection. So then we say plugin factories we do this plugin is we create this plugin. This is actually connection. I also feel like I could change okay, how does this work? Okay, I think I could refactor this slightly. And I would want to change and I want to change some of these attributes. Damn, I need to learn class and instances. Seems to be great, but look in your code. I mean, classes are good in Python. The biggest downside, well, I wouldn't call it downside, is that you really have to care about this mutability piece. This mutability is the reason why our connections are like why we have this bug, and it's actually not so easy to fix it. So I actually, as I said, I start I started noticing this recently, especially in bigger code bases, where if you have like these functions in class which change internal state of the class, this is not great. So in almost all of my stuff, I'm migrating from these mutable classes to frozen classes, where or immutable, doesn't matter how you call them, where like you do all pre-work that you need for a class attributes, and then you create a class with the attributes that you were looking for. You don't change them during like lifetime of the class. And if you need to change this, one thing that you can use, you can create a new class. So for example, you want to change this name of this book for some reason, you would create a new book from previous book instead of changing the object in place. Because I have been changing objects in place for a really long time, and only after 7 years of Python, developing Python, I realized this is not working great for big code bases. It's quite terrifying, to be honest, especially like tracking bugs. Not awesome at all. Okay, so how do I refactor this piece? Let me think. So I think I need like some kind of dictionary. I think I could say the following. So can pretty much copy paste this. To be honest, I don't like Python ternary if statement, but since this is not the code that I wrote, like I don't think my personal preference is enough justification for rewriting this configuration. Configuration. Let me see. Yeah, I think this is good. Get connection. Yeah, we have to say here this. So then I don't need this. I don't need this as well. Yeah, I think this is better. So let's go through this logic real quick. So first we check if you have an existing connection. If this connection is something is already in this connection, and this something is not an established connection. So it means like this is like some netmiko handler or something. Then we say connection is already open, we raise an exception. Alternatively, we get the plugin, we create a connection using this plugin, then we use this function default to host attributes, hostname, username, password, port, platform extras, and then we just open this connection. After we open, we change this self connections connection is equal to connection. Something is wrong here. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that open connection. David can kill me if I do this. Because yeah, I don't think I can make this change. Yeah, guys, when you have the projects that a bunch of people use and you have APIs which are public, changing something is a mess. It's so hard to do. Yeah, I don't think I can rename that argument. This is painful. Yeah. Let's do this. Let me do con ops. I think it'll be better. Con ops. Okay. Yeah, this looks better. I think. So this should. The only downside of this is that we'll keep opening connection, I guess, if it failed. I don't think there is an easy way to fix it. Yes, this will automatically try opening connection, and there is no way to deal with this, to be honest. Okay, so we have this piece. There is another piece regarding closing the connection. So dev close connection. If connection is not present, then we say raise could not open connection. The reason why I really want to rename here, but I can't. The reason I do it like the first line is because, okay, if connection is not present, then I raise an exception. Alternatively, we have to retrieve this connection. And then if connection is not an established connection, then we do connection.close. Okay, this is, I think this is correct fix. Okay, so when we are closing the connection, yes, and we say I would like to close connection at Miko, I say, okay, if I don't have NetMiko connection, then we raise an exception. If it's there, but it's not an unestablished connection, then I will call the close function. Yeah, I think this is correct fix. Well, correct-ish fix. So I have to save this, and I don't think I need this. Some of my tests may fail, mainly because of this change. I think it depends if we have tests for this or not. If we have tests for this unestablished connection, then some of these tests may fail. Depends. Oh no, so all tests have passed. That's good to hear. So I cannot commit this yet. First of all, we have to test it manually with this failed connection. So let me show you to use this again. So when we were running this, okay, did I run it multiple times or one? 36, 13. Okay. First, we run netmiko send command with the following arguments. Then host csr.task netmiko send command failed with the following traceback. So this traceback is coming from paramiko. Then netmiko is having a bad time here. I want actually to see the code because I could open here another bug, by the way. Of course, I closed my log file. So this was line 898. I'm not sure why this doesn't take me to the proper line. Yeah, so we say here we're trying to open a connection. If connection fails, then we do this. As far as I know, correct way to do this is you do like this. you do raise something from E. I think this is correct way. But this is already netmico territory, so like I cannot touch this at all. So where is my file? Yeah, here. And where is the log file? Okay, so first we hit paramico exception, then netmico exception. And as I said, to be honest, this should be hidden. Ideally. Because you usually, if you have some kind of abstraction library, you don't want to leak internal details to the user. So this part is expected, okay? Because we could not open connection to 1, 2, 3, 4. But this running task, at the very end of the program, we do close connection task. So we are running closing connection on every host. This is where it's incorrect. When we are closing the connection, we fail during closing the connection. So this should not happen. Oh, then I run it again later. This piece should not happen. We should not fail on closing connection which was not opened in the first place. So if I rerun this, oh, I need to go to sandbox folder. And of course it would be much better if I did TDD, test driven development. So we know that this is a problem. Let me create first test and then fix it. Because now that the code is done, I will actually just go ahead and create a test. I could still kind of do it. I could create a test. I could commit test. And then I could commit my fix. And then I could roll back to test, rerun that test on the proper code base, and then see if that test fails. Okay, so honestly, folks, I didn't think it would take so long time to fix this annoying bug, because this bug has been haunting me for years. I wouldn't call it for years, but at least for 1 year. I even have a fork where I have reworked connections completely just so that I can use it the way I want. So this fix is due. Okay, let's hope for the best. So I think I still will have the object printed. The biggest question is this log file, pretty much. This is concerning, by the way. I think I did a mistake somewhere. Maybe. Okay, so this is the time. Okay, so first netmico fails. And then I'm just running, and then I'm just closing connection, close connection tasks, and it succeeds pretty much. Yeah, that's weird. It's very weird, guys. I'm actually thinking that I killed all tests. I don't know why it's the case. This dictionary, I don't think should be empty. So this connection is available, it's fine, but this one, something is incorrect here. Missing white space around the operator. Oh yeah, by the way. I mean, I see it over here when we open in connection. Let me try doing that. I mean, correct thing would be logging. I mean, I could do logging, I guess. Thank you for following Nitin. And thank you for following Paradise. Yeah, this is broken. I mean, it's not broken, but something is incorrect. I think it would be beneficial if I actually run around this lab here. And I will actually connect to the real device here. Well, real, it's virtual. God damn it. Okay, we run this function. Where is this? Tasknet Miko send command. Where is this? Oh, I know why. Yeah, about that. So this should be an inventory. Yeah, okay. I can see the problem now. So look at this. Eventually we get to this open connection function. We are checking that, okay, doesn't matter. Here plugin, we get the plugin, we create an object, we put proper username, passwords, whatever. Then we open a connection, and then this is where the exception happens. So it never gets to this line. So this connection just does not exist at all, because this has failed already. I feel like the proper way to do this would be to have a bare exception here. Maybe we have it already. Yeah, I think okay. This is good actually. Yeah, we don't put this connection object into our dictionary until it's actually has been opened. And this, if this fails, then this line is never hit. That's why the dictionary is empty. That's why it just works. This safeguard is not really needed anymore, but I think it's still good to have it. Yeah, I think it is fine. And folks, unfortunately, we will not be working on anything else. So I was thinking about working on Scrappily today, but this was very exhausting, even though it's like a simple bug. We still need to create tests for this. But at least, I mean, at least right now it's expected behavior. The reason why it's kind of cool is that you can now do retry. You know what? Let me actually try this. How can I find this? I need to go to my profile. Where can I find? Is it? Yeah, I think it's like this. I hope so. Yep. So I have this retry. So if I copy this function, I will put it here. So if I do it here, I can now do the following. So on every exception, which is not the best, but in this case I don't care. And then we will call the function. Let me send command. So this is what is called this retry is decorator, but you can what are decorators? Decorators are what is called second order functions. So this is function which is wrapping another function. So in this case, I'm saying that I will use this retry function on the function at Miko send command. And then here, if I say retry, so if I did everything correctly and if I think I understand what's going on, then we should try opening connection twice. So in the log file, well, let me wait and then I will load the log file. I should see 2 failed attempts to connect instead of 1. So if actually more than 1. Oh, what's my default on retry? Okay, so I see, yeah, so there is 5 times. That's bad. Let me, I will fix this. I will set to, let's run this and see. Okay, so first there is problem with Paramiko, which causes problem in NetMiko. Retry one out of 2. And then there is a second retry. So there is second retry. And so in total there should be 3 attempts, because 2 retries means, you know, once and then 2 more. Perfect. And then this was the artifact from here, which is not needed. But the bottom line here is that we tried connecting 3 times. So if I go to log file, I need to find the proper timestamp. Here. So we are, yeah, actually this didn't work. This didn't work out so well, did it? Oh, yeah, it's fine. Is it fine? Yeah, I think it's actually, yeah. Yeah, I think this is fine. So we are running the task on one host. We are, interesting. Why we are running close connection tasks? I'm curious about that. Oh, I think it was still previous attempt. The proper one was here, 27. I don't know, guys. Something here feels incorrect. I'm running NetMiko send command with arguments, and then I'm running close connection task. Why are we running close connection tasks? This doesn't make any sense to me. Here, why would I run close connection? Yeah, I think the biggest unknown here is this. So these 2 lines, I don't understand. I understand this line, like we are running NetMiko send command, it returned an exception, we are trying again. Cool. Why are we closing connection? This is big question mark to me. I do feel like I still have a need to check my real one of the CSRs. So 192, 168, 153, 101. So let's add the router here with correct details. Okay, so if I did everything correctly, Norgim. No, it is not this one. Norgim plugins functions. God damn it. Okay. And I think I want to change this to one retry, so it's even faster. So this should fail again, though the log looks incorrect, but I'm wondering why we are closing connection. Let me see. Maybe I will find something. So, okay. This task failed with exception. Fine. This is what print result says. If we change this to correct host, and I don't need this by the way. So if we change this to R1 and we run this, okay, now this works. Okay, so this is fine, but so this is this last example. Running netmiko send commands with arguments. Then we say this failed. Oh yeah, I think this is fine. Let's do one more time. We delete this log. I will add here number of retries and we say csrdef. Let's go. Okay, I'm running task. Where is this? Where is this? Oh no, it's actually fine. So we are running this task. It takes a while because of retry, and then at the very end, we are running this close connection task once. All right. So apparently, like my suspicion was wrong. So it's actually all good. So we need to create a test. Let me, by the way, delete something here. I think it was connections. Okay, so this failed connection was actually not needed. and I don't need this. And I think we should be okay. So tests. Okay, so what do we want to test here? Well, there are a couple of things that need to be tested. One is that if connection fails, actually no, there is just one thing that needs to be tested. If connection fails, then there should not be connection with this name. That's all. This is the only thing that needs to be tested. So we have to go to tests. This should be as part of the inventory, I think, because it's problem with open connection. So this should be core test inventory here. We have to find something related to connections here. Test. Do we have open connection here? Actually, we don't. It would be here then. Okay. The way we do this is the following. We have to create a new plugin. We have to say class failed connection plugin. Connection plugin. Okay. What is this going on here? I don't know what I did here. Okay. So we have this failed connection plugin. It should have almost exactly the same signature here. Blah blah blah, whatever, don't care. We just say here raise I can just say value error. I don't care. Probably it's better to create another exception. So let's say failed connection exception, and then just say pass, and then here I would say failed exception failed to open connection to, and here I will say self hostname self word. Okay, this def clause doesn't really matter. I can just say pass. I don't care. Open connection twice. Okay. So here, test open connection twice, test close not open connection. Let's do test failed connection, self Nornir. So I have to say that NR, to be honest, doesn't matter that much. Okay, I have to create here def failed connection task. I will have to register plugin, by the way. So here I have to say fail connection. I can just say fail. This will be registered as failed connection plugin. Failed connection plugin. Then we create a task which says assert. No, what does it say? Try task host open connection fail task Nornir config. When this fails, the only thing that I have to check is that assert, let's do here fail connection name. I could probably add here name is equal to fail. Okay, then I have to register it. So here I can say dot name and then here I say failed connection name connection plugin, and then the key here is that we are trying to open a connection. If exception happens, okay, I need to say that this fail is not in self task no, in task host connections. Yep. Okay, and here we have to just check. I have to just check this. I have to well, I can select any host I want, for example this, and then R is equal to, we run this task. Actually, I think I need to do it in different place. So here we opening connection, task failed connection. Here we say task is failed connection. And then here I have to assert. So after I run this, after I run failed connection, I have to assert that this is not present in our Nornir inventory posts connections. So if, yeah, let's hope for the best here. Okay, so we say make tests, make by test. Let's go. This looks promising. Let's go. Okay, so all tests have been passed, so it means that we are on the right track. So what do I want? Well, I have to run the whole test suite. I think it's make tests. Probably black will fail. Let me see black file. Yeah. Here's make black check. So poetry run black Nornir tests. Okay, let's run tests again. Pandoc wasn't found. I have to install Pandoc here. Ouch. Where can I get it though? Do we have it in makefile? So somewhere there should be Pandoc, which I cannot find. Yeah, it's here. Ouch. Let's go. Nornir core connections. And then local variable r is assigned but never used. Let's go. It's very interesting, guys. So this bug is very minor. I mean, I wouldn't call it very minor. It's minor thing, right? But it literally took me 2.5 hours to fix it. So yeah, like amount of maintenance pretty much any open source project needs is just insane. Like even if you ask for a small thing, it will take you, usually takes you a bunch of time to fix. Probably the easiest problems are fixed are like spelling errors or something like in docs. But something especially like in this case, it's related to internal behavior. You saw that it was not so simple after you start doing it. Alright, so the way I want to approach this is that I want to have two commits. I want to have commit for test, and then I want to have commit for oh, apparently this failed connection is not needed. Why is it not needed? Actually it's needed, yeah, it's needed over here. So I have this failed connection plugin I created. This is fine. This I have failed connection task. Fine. Then I run it here. Yep. So yeah, I think this is awesome. This looks okay. The way we do this is the following. So first we add this file to commit. And I know that I can use this. Probably I could use this, why not? It's just I'm so used to command line right now that I'm like, okay. Okay, so this will be a separate commit. Please provide a commit message. Where is this bug? Tests for failed connections. Okay. This next piece is we want to stage and commit. Is there like bigger commit? Ouch. No. Yes, called bigger commit message. How does this work? Enter. So you are saying, please press enter to confirm. What the hell? Okay, I give up, guys. I do it here. I do it old school. Okay, so failed connections are not store do not store failed connections in post connections. Fix. Why it's red though? Oh, okay. Fix I can just say $350, right? Okay, give me 1 second here, guys. All right, this should be good. So ouch. Well, at least my passwords are is asterisk and stuff like that. I was this close to leaking some of my password. Okay. So the way I want to approach this is the following. So I have git log. If I roll back to this commit, so git checkout this commit. Why am I in detach head? Look around experimental changes. Oh yeah, it makes sense that I'm in detach head. Yes. So if I go now to my code, yes, it should not have all of these changes. It still should have tests, but it should not have anything else. The reason I want to do this is if I now say make by test, this should fail. That new test that I added should fail. And if it fails, then I know that I did everything correctly. If it passes, then it's not great. Please, I need failed test here. If the test is not failed, then I'm in trouble here. Yep, perfect. So this is what I wanted. So, I mean, I didn't approach this proper TDD way, but at least I checked it in the end. So I developed fix, I wrote a test then, and then then what I did, I committed test first, and then I committed code which fixes, which makes test pass. I did checkout to the test only version of code, ran tests, so that one test failed. This one, yep, this one failed. And then two or three passed. So now I'm good. The last piece that is left to do is open pull request. So we will do this and we will wrap up the stream. So will it pop? Yeah. So in the Nornir it pops up with my fork branch, so I compare and pull request. So I have to create a name for this. I could have it here. So do not store failed. I can have the same as failed connections in host attributes. like this. Okay, this besides fixing 350, with this fix failed connection is not in host connections dictionary, which means we are not trying to close are not stored in, we are not trying to close them, raising an exception. This allow not only it fixes 50, but besides fixing bug, this also now allows to have transparent retry mechanism for tasks, for tasks which open connections. Previously, any retry on the host connection to which failed would leave an unestablished connection attribute and ultimately fail. Okay, let me reread this, create pull request, and then that's all. So with this fix, this comma is not needed. Failed connections are not stored in host connections dictionary, which means we are not trying to close them, raising an exception. Besides fixing the bug, this also now allows to have a transparent retry mechanism touch which work with connections. Previously, any retry on the host connection to which has failed would leave an we would leave an unestablished connection attribute uninitialized and ultimately fail. Previously, any retry on the host connection to which has failed would leave in a connection attribute uninitialized and ultimately fail. Alright, cool. I think this is good. Let's create pull request. Let's quickly see changes here. So yes. Okay. So here the biggest piece of this is that this piece, yes, I broke this down. So I first do this, right? So I do it here. But this piece is being done here. So this allows that if this opening connection fails, then you'll never get to this line for storing this. So this is probably the biggest piece of this fix, like moving this part, breaking this down, moving this here after reopening connection. Then here in close connection, this part is not really needed, but it's fine anyway. So what we are doing here is that if we are trying to close some connection, if there is no such connection, we just connection could not open. Otherwise we pop it, we check, is this connection unestablished connection? If it's not, then we are closing this. So this is fine. Then I have test. Yes, it's pretty succinct fix, I think. It's not that big of a deal. Also has changed this to a proper sentinel object here. This is, so you can see that instead of having a class here, I create what is called sentinel object. So it's pretty much object which you use instead of like none or something. And usually you can do it like this, or you can do it with enum. This is not a sentinel object because this will be created. This will be a new one for pretty much every new plugin, but honestly we need only one. So that's why I created it like this. And then you usually with sentinel objects, the way you compare with them is you do it like this. So instead of saying not equal, right, you would say if connection is not something. This is like identity check. This is how you usually work with sentinel objects. Yeah, I think this is good. All right, folks, let's do a quick wrap up. So today I was working on some open source, mostly on Nornir. I thought I would be able to do more, but apparently it just doesn't work this way. So I was focusing on fixing one annoying old issue. Let me do it like this. So I was trying to fix the issue that I opened exactly 1 year ago. And it's super annoying, where the like failed connections are still like left as a remnant in Nornir, and this usually it will not give you any trouble unless you do any kind of retry mechanisms, which I was doing for my purposes, and this retry mechanism was failing. So yeah, I finally got some time to work on it on the stream. I also was explaining some of the Python tricks. Well, I wouldn't call it tricks, but some of the things that I learned. I think I already closed that file. It's called, oh, it's still here. Mutable. I was explaining the difference between the like mutable classes and immutable classes. And I was explaining how this example relates to our connections problem, and I was trying to understand what would be the best way to fix this bug. And as much as I would want to have this immutable and like do it like this proper book object, unfortunately I can't, because then we will mess with a lot of public API. So I had to fix that. Is a little bit worse, but this is as much as I could do, because again, there are many people using Nornir. I cannot just keep breaking API, and it's obviously it's a big challenge when you maintain open source. You will always have to care about backwards compatibility. Even if you release a new major release, you have to keep those changes to minimum, because then otherwise you will end up like Ansible, where you have to pretty much recreate all of the content, all of the code that you created every 6 months or so. So yeah, we are very careful with doing any breaking changes. We do them only when it's really needed. Like I said, we are planning to do it with plugins because it's a big maintenance burden right now. And it also slows us down very much, so we have to do that. But again, like for other people, you could keep using 2.0 version. Right now we are on 2.4, so that breaking change is going to be only in 2.4. Sorry, in 3.0. So yeah, I hope you guys learned something new. I hope some of this was educational. Yeah, I'm a little bit sad I didn't have time to work on some other stuff, like Scrappily. This is what I wanted to do, but apparently bug fixing just takes so much time. So it took me almost 3 hours to fix this very small bug. Alright, with that folks, thank you so much and I will see you next time. Goodbye.